ask you this. Who told you about the church? Who told you about God? If somebody told you about God, that's how you know you're wrong. That's our mama. Because Jesus said God is within.
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day and a good weekend, y'all. We got a good one coming up. I ain't gonna do too much talking. I got so much to do today, y'all. We're gonna get this, get in, get out, get you guys a good reaction for this Saturday. Enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah,
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go.
Them niggas are having bombs dropped on them right now. We at this bitch with a school bus.
This is the country with the most black millionaires. If you look at the Forbes list, 30 under 30, how many black people was on there? How many black people was on the top content creators list? 10 M's plus.
It's no way.
Like, what the hell? What the hell?
Did I hear that?
What the hell?
She up $60 million talking about her life hard because she black.
Did I just hear
What
that right?
the fuck?
Them niggas getting blown up.
There's no way I heard that right, bro.
Bro, I'm sick of the whole black people are oppressed shit.
I just cannot believe that shit. Not
This shit
if
is
you're
fucking
black.
bullshit. We're talking about black people getting hung. What the fuck?
Whoopi, you probably have security. You're Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Cushion.
Did she play on The Color Purple?
Yes, man. So do they believe America is still in like the 1940s, 30s?
You know what? She's stuck in The Color Purple. She shouldn't have played that role. Because that's what's the problem. When you do them slavery movies in the United States, that's the problem right now. They need to stop making slave movies.
The people that run the world never talk about God. Have you ever sat to wonder why? The elites want a population that's sick but functional, medicated but manageable, connected but distracted, broke enough to obey but not broke enough to rebel. They want a dense urban hive of screen staring, lab meat eating renters with no property, no roots, and no memory of freedom. They want to engineer society like software. And people like Bill Gates, they're the architects. Health, food, tech, education, all integrated into a single programmable ecosystem. And you ask yourself, why would somebody want that much control? Because when you stop believing in God, you start trying to replace him.
Okay, y'all, something major must be going on in Washington, D.C., because I'm hearing that Washington, D.C. has just gone dark. Donald Trump must not be in-house because he has not been seen in days, y'all. Something is happening in D.C. And I showed y'all a few days ago, well, this is what it looks like today, and people saying it feels weird, gray skies. Look at that. Apparently the helicopters are just patrolling around, but people saying the energy is very ominous. Now here's the breaking news part. The president's Doomsday Plane E-4B has left Shreveport, Louisiana, and it's making its way to Washington, D.C., and it has people raising concerns. This ain't your average Air Force One ride, y'all. This plane is a flying Pentagon. This is the type of plane that they use during the end of the world type scenarios, which we see is currently building. Y'all, there is too much going on, especially for this plane to be operating right now and to being on the ground. And then Trump said he's going to address the nation later on today. Something is happening, y'all. The weather has been extremely volatile. There's a video that I dropped earlier. You can clearly see and hear the lightning is out of control. Our planet is changing, man. And for this to come into play right now, something big is happening. But yes, y'all, once Trump addresses what's going on, I'll let you guys know, all right? But let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
What people don't know in general is that in the 50s, between 1951 and 53, Iran was in the process of becoming a democratic state under a person, Mohammad Mossadegh. And Mossadegh nationalized the oil companies, or the British oil company, what is now British Petroleum, but was called by another name at the time. He nationalized effectively the control over the oil in Iran. Now, you may have mixed emotions about that. You've got a company, it's doing business in Iran, extracting oil. Presumably Iran is getting some benefit for that. But you can imagine the Iranians discovering or realizing that they didn't have a good deal, that they had a hugely important resource, and it would have become apparent by the early 50s how important that resource was, not just in terms of its value in terms of wealth, but its strategic importance, that you might imagine that somebody like Mossadegh would think, well, actually, we have everything we need to be a, well-run, prosperous, powerful country right here because we are sitting on this huge oil resource. And unfortunately, the way our deal is structured with Britain, the benefit of that oil is largely going to them and not us. That's our oil. So he nationalizes it. Now, I'm not saying that's the right decision or the wrong decision. I really don't know enough about it. But the point is, his nationalizing of the oil industry in Iran resulted in the British and the US, MI6, and the CIA overthrowing Mossadegh. What was the result of that? They installed a monarch, the Shah. Now, there's a history there with Shahs, but never mind. Fact is, we went from having Iran on a trajectory towards modernization, towards secularization, as had already occurred in Turkey. Mm-hmm. And it went from that to a monarchy where it continued with a strong degree of Western modernization, which then all resulted in a massive Islamic theocratic revolution that ousted the Shah and replaced him with the Ayatollah. So to the extent that we look at Iran and it looks like it is a country from another barbaric century, and of course it's a problem for the world because of its bloodthirsty theocratic nature, that's what regime change does. It causes people to rebel.
And anytime those people get in the mix, they fuck everything up.
I'll give you a great example. It's like the only like call out on here that's negative that I'll say at all is that just to show like how stuck in the mud the industry is and how much I think it's going to change in the near future is leading up to the Scornful release, me and Draven had went back and found about 30 or 40 people who just without us even knowing who they were, made the Richmond reaction videos, and they were a big part of the push of it, especially long term, like people on TikTok and stuff that had made these videos. And so I own 100% of my publishing, all the music's mine. Thankfully, I have my own label technically that collects the money, but you have to use a publishing administration deal in order to collect money like overseas. I don't know if you're familiar, if it's the same in comedy, but like, yeah, most any musician, whether you're independent or you're with somebody, you have to have some kind of pub admin. And it's basically somebody that goes and helps you collect publishing money from basically mostly from overseas is the way I understand, like all these obscure places that money exists. So Warner Chappell does it for me for 9%, right? So they go collect all the stuff. They keep 9% of it. They're the same to me as if I had a commercial landscaping company managing a property for me. So all I asked them to do was, hey, Warner Chappell, this 6-foot square of grass where all these reaction videos exist, just please whitelist these people so they don't get copyrighted. I want them to actually make the money they make on the Scornful reaction videos, Like I don't feel right if they're going to go and make a Scornful Woman reaction video or play drums over it or whatever. I don't want to take 50% of what, you know what I mean? Just don't just whitelist them. And it should have been, okay, great, good idea, Instead, they just said, we can't do that, but it's for your protection. So
because they wanted the money.
So
and they get a percentage, or they on a how do they get?
Well,
paid?
they take 9% off of what I get.
They don't want.
But I tried to explain to them. Well, no, like in the business sense, I even counter argued them, and I was like, well, let's think about it in the business sense. This little bit of money, right, that you're not going to collect off these reaction videos will generate who knows how much traffic to the music, which is worth the money you really want. And it shouldn't matter anyway. It's not their shit to decide on. It's mine. It's the same thing as if I hired a guy to cut the grass at my commercial property and said, don't cut the 6-foot square. And they're like, no, we're cutting it. We're cutting all the grass and it's for your. So I had to get my attorney involved and spend like $4,000. And they whitelisted them for 30 days. And so I'm like, okay, like that's why all of you industry people are like, so, it's like, that's why this is happening. That's why it's like, I don't know, just, they don't care at all about the little guy or the people who are like doing all the work.
Bro, all that. And he's talking to a guy face to face that doesn't care about the little guy. Cause try reacting to a Joe Rogan clip, a full 10-minute clip from his YouTube. You're getting copyrighted, y'all. You know what I mean? But that's what people like. I get a lot. Like if I reply to a comment and they don't agree with it, the first thing they say is, you know, how do you call yourself a YouTuber when all you do is react to other people's clips and you do all their work? First of all, I'm getting that name out, y'all. We're gonna get, I don't know, let's just say 19,000 views on this video today. That's 19,000 views that are watching Conscience Juice, that are watching my boy Henry, that are going to make people, a lot of you guys probably learned about Juice and Henry and people like that react to them on TikTok from these TikTok videos, right? And if you have a TikTok, you probably go follow them, right? Like people, I would never copyright somebody, reacting to my videos. Like that's getting my page out there. That's getting the views out there. But like he was saying though, like that's the reason why he got so big was because of these reactions, y'all. And Joe Rogan, he'll copyright your ass. He's over there agreeing with them, like, yeah, they just want your money. Like, that's what Joe Rogan does, y'all.
Rapping, all that music is done, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna sit and say that Boss Man D-Lo thing real, but it just go to show. Like, don't nobody want to be a rapper no more, dog. They all getting exposed for something. They all going to jail, dying. Like, everything about being a rapper in today's age, there's nothing cool about it. They really not even making no money no more. Like, all the money's in streaming, being a content creator, showing your personality. And these rappers can't even do it. They so used to being egotistical and everybody just worshiping the ground they walk on just because they make a couple words sound cool and rhyme and all that. Like all that music shit, bro. It's like, damn, bro. I feel bad for anybody who trying to make being an artist their main focus in 2025, bro. Because, like I said, this whole Boss Man D-Lo thing in itself, like it can just go to show, like, man, this shit's done.
And that's why all these athletes, these older rappers starting podcasts on YouTube, starting to stream online, like they're not doing these things more. Like signing to record labels, they're all starting to stream online or go independent, y'all. That's where it's at, y'all, the content creators. And guess what? It ain't going nowhere. Like look up where they expect YouTube to be in the next 10 years. Like where do they expect YouTube to be? Like right now it's getting, I'm just guessing, don't take my word on it, but it's getting 2 billion, daily stream views or whatever. Within 10 years, they're expecting 10, 20, right? So it's just going to keep growing. I tell you guys, get on the YouTube, even if you're reacting. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing that I react to videos. Like, first of all, like this guy's doing his own content, right? But most of these people that are on TikTok, they're reacting to other people's TikToks, right? They're reacting to this guy's TikTok. This guy's is going to be a reaction. Someone's going to react to it and give their 2 cents, y'all. Like, that's where it's going, y'all. I highly suggest people to get into this and don't expect overnight success. This took me 6 years, y'all. 6 years to get monetized on YouTube and finally make it into a career. I just worked on it on the side. I just kept watering that plant, watering that seed. And then 2023, January 1st, I got monetized, y'all, on January 1st.
With, bro. The man's name is Boss Man D-Lo. Boss Man down low. You feel me? And I ain't gonna say if it's true or false, I don't know. But I know this is the second or third time I heard these allegations about him, bro. And usually when you hear something enough times about a person, like, it might turn out to be true. You know what I'm saying? But, dog, if you want to do anything with your life, bro, starting something new, starting something fresh, getting into a new hobby, I suggest you don't put music first.
Someone on one of those big news channels would have to sacrifice their cushy life and, and fall on the knife and nothing would happen. I mean, that's what you probably learned with Snowden, what he did, and like he did that for all of us. He should be treated like a hero. Half of the people, over here, the big thing is if somebody's fighting for the people, they're immediately branded a socialist or a communist, and they somehow try to tie him to Putin. It's just like, or he just thinks the banking system's a little fucked up and maybe it shouldn't be run by a private corporation. Could be that. Yeah.
Do you find it weird that you're being asked so much about politics?
They don't want real answers. They want idiots like me talking about it. And then we just go, that's just some idiot comedian that does shit jokes. But they don't want I don't know. I don't even think they even answer the questions or even ask them anymore.
The feminism movement didn't unite women, it split women.
I feel totally
Wait, listen, 50% of young women don't want to have children. They're really preoccupied with making money and materialism.
But we're still looking at a society that is increasingly telling women where they could be better.
But sometimes feminism expects women to be prioritized, and both sexes want the privileges without the responsibilities.
Can I just add, we are producing women and men who are and I'll tell you what I mean by that. It'll be an interesting discussion.
The sexual revolution gave women freedom.
But things like the washing machine, women entering the labour force, the pill had enormous social changes. For instance, it gave the illusion that sex was consequence-free.
But the second wave of the feminist movement was every woman should want free sex, and yet 82% of young women are depressed and anxious after casual sexual encounters. Or every woman should want to go out to work and leave their children in daycare, but we are doing terrible damage to our children by putting them in daycare.
This strain of feminism has basically aspired as much as possible to make women like men. And now gender roles are changing.
And we've gone so far, so we have women dominating men.
How are we dominating men, though?
Oh my goodness. 60% of college students are women.
That's not us dominating
No,
men.
let me finish. Young men are afraid of women and the power they have over them.
Oh, God, to blame feminism for those things. I mean, it's insane.
But there are solutions.
I'm just going to jump in there and talk about a report that came out in 2025. And this was really shocking. What are your thoughts?
Now, a little thing, I'm trying not to talk a lot, but look at me. Here I go, talking, right? But, I see a lot of TikToks that I want to start doing these reactions, y'all, on my second channel. But, women are saying, like, guys don't come up to us no more. They don't, right? I used to hate going up to women and talking to them. Why? Because 99.9% of the time you get dissed and disrespected. I'm like, I'm out at the grocery store. It's Friday night. About to get me some chicken wings. I'm having a good day. I ain't going to go talk to this girl as bad as I want. She's staring at me, giving me signals. I ain't going to go sit there and talk to her because you know what? She's going to ruin my night, right? 9 times out of 10, we get dissed, y'all. But every no is closer to a yes. So all my single men out there, go shoot that shot. Go shoot that shot. Or you single women out there, I'm telling you, that guy that you're staring at, that doesn't go up to you and talk to you, he's wishing you go talk to him. Because 9 times out of 10, we go up to you and we get humiliated, y'all. So shoot that shot, fellas. Every no is closer to a yes. And women, sometimes, go shoot that shot. Go make some small talk, right? That'll make a guy's day.
So the reason why Spotify has such an issue with fake streams compared to Apple is because once you put up a scoreboard, people are going to try to cheat. Apple has no scoreboard. We don't know the score. So that's not a metric we care about. Spotify, you see streams. So you're like, oh shit, what can I do to make my number say 60 million in the first week instead of 20? Because now it's a game and now you're going to try to cheat.
I mean, even the other day when they, whoa. What? No.
Damn.
Oh my God.
It appears there has been
Ship 36 just blew up. Ship 36 just blew up.
Yeah, we're not ready to occupy Mars. Not quite there yet. Right there yet, Elon.
It's interesting. The more that I practice functional medicine, the more I realize that the whole system is really set up against you. And the reason why I say that is that, for example, the most common cause of autoimmune disease is actually an infection. But when you go to the rheumatologist, all you're going to get is Xeljanz, sulfalazines, you're going to get Humira, Enbrel, you're going to get those things, which actually suppress your immune system. So if the number one root cause, according to authors, right, of autoimmunity is an infectious issue, what's going on here? If you're suppressing your immune system, you're always going to have autoimmunity if your trigger is an infection. So it is the definition of a vicious circle, but it's almost like it was set up so that you will always be on those medications, which, by the way, highest profit margin in pharmaceutical science and pharmaceutical sales are these immune modulating medications. So remember, there's no vested interest for you to get better.
I think it's weird that people get in the car, drive to the gym, get on a treadmill to walk. It's kind of like getting an English degree when you speak English. I'm like, what the are you doing? Walking. And it's not 10,000 steps. I've tested that. If you look at the actual science, Daniel Lieberman's a guy everybody should follow. He's a Harvard paleoanthropologist. So he looks at our bone structure and reconstructs what we were built to do. Our ancestors, men walked about 7 to 8 miles every day, which is about 15,000. So in 150 body, you take the 0 away, 15, that's how many steps. You should do 15,000. 10,000 is like Muhammad Ali said. He's like, I don't count my push-ups till they start to burn a little. Like, you're a strong guy, you do 10 push-ups. 15, you're gonna get the burn, the good stuff comes from the 10 to 15,000. And other women walk a little bit less, so like 12,000.
I built a system for myself called the 150 Body Protocol. I followed it myself since 2015. It's a game changer. Comment below the word 150, and I'll send you some stuff on the 150 Body.
You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what APAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at APAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay. When was the last time APAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on APAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets.
No.
I want to get to the core question. APAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
So it's not has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay, but it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all.
How much contact do you think APAC leaders have for the government of Israel?
No idea.
It's a little dark in here, yeah?
Battle of Los Angeles. That was a real fucking thing that happened. The pictures of Battle of Los Angeles is crazy.
What happened exactly?
There's this big object in the sky, and we're shooting machine guns at it. We got spotlights. This is like in the 50s, maybe? Look at this shit. Wow. So we're putting fucking rounds on this fucking thing.
Spotlights on this thing in the sky.
Look at the rounds.
Right, but what is it? What is it that they see? That's weird that all you can see is spotlights. Boy, that looks like a fucking flying saucer.
Look at in the middle and look at but those things around it, those are fucking like Ma Deuce rounds. Like they're shooting at this fucking thing. They don't know what it is.
The sun is responsible for 80% of our aging.
Wow.
So if you do nothing else, don't do anything, just put your sunscreen on, you're going to age 80% better than you would have.
Wow. And what kind of sunscreen? What's
so
the best
ideally,
option?
I like things that are mineral and I like tinted. Tinted is nice because now we're all in front of computers and phones, and the tint protects our pigment cells from blue light.
That was something that shocked me the most.
That blows everybody's mind when they come in, because people will say, well, I don't know how I have melasma because I never go out in the sun. I'm sitting in this dark room in front of my computer for 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's why you have melasma. So the blue light from computer screens, from cell phones, can damage your pigment cells, especially if you're prone to melasma.
I want to make the case that to believe that the world came about randomly and uncaused, you have to have more faith than a Christian or a theist by far. Because after a while, all of the things that you would have to claim become absurd on their face. So let's go back to Stephen Hawking, right? Okay. There's so many different things that have to be in line for the Earth to exist, for life to exist, all those things. But I want to let's focus on planet Earth's existence and the impossible odds of us just existing as a planet. Hawking said if the rate of expansion 1 second after that initial thing that sent everything spreading had been smaller by even 1 part in 100,000 million. It's a hard thing to even wrap your mind around. Yeah. So imagine a 1 over a 1 with 17 zeros behind it. Okay, big number. If it had been smaller by that small of a fraction, the universe would have recollapsed before it ever reached its present size. That's one factor. Wow. It's so precise that if it was different by that margin, everything's toast.
Having a family on one page is more important than fucking food. Because remember, the food they give us is poison anyway. And we don't require food to run. We could work good off water and energy, electricity. Now we have a taste for food because it's been programmed in us. Just like it was programmed in us to get up and go to these plants. These plantations. Thank you to Henry Ford. Now, Henry Ford is a Pleiadian that landed here originally. He's a body jumper. Your top Pleiadians, your hierarchy Pleiadians who've been here from jump, they are body jumpers, those and the reptilians. All right, so what does that mean? Conscious transfer was not new. All of this technology that they got now is shit compared to what we was doing back then. So that's why they keep it hidden from us. So that any little bullshit they bring, any little primitive inventions they come out with, we think is new. Like, oh, look at the iPhone. Look at the color TV. Oh, look, Alexa. You can say Alexa and she started talking. That ain't nothing. Okay? From what we do. Nothing. It's all primitive compared to what we do and what we created in our technology.
So, there's all this talk about going to war in the Middle East, a possible war with Iran, and honestly, it's just bringing back a lot of memories and nostalgia for me.
Bruh.
Because the first week of first grade for me was September 2001, and something kind of bad happened about 45 minutes away from my New Jersey home. Regardless, at the end of the year, you know what we did? We had a musical, A Salute to America, for first grade. Purely patriotic, no dissent whatsoever. We sang 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue, God bless the USA, America the beautiful, you name it. In fact, this week is the 23rd anniversary of that performance from June of 2002. It also happens to be the last time I ever recited lines on stage that I needed to memorize. Let's take a look at those lines right now, and when you're watching them, think to yourself, if we have another global conflict, there could be a cute little first grade musical about it.
Hey Elijah, do you know how long the Mississippi River is? The Mississippi River is 2,348 miles long.
God bless the USA.
Uber said he was 3 minutes away. I've been waiting for like 10 minutes for this 3 minutes away. But they think they slick, right? So what they do is they're going to wait. And while you wait, they wait for you to cancel it so that you get billed and they still make money. So we're going to roll up on him right now so he can go ahead and cancel this damn Uber. Because I'm not getting finessed by Uber today. I'm not letting people finesse me. So, Bucko, I'm pulling up. You playing with me. I ain't got time to be playing with. Somebody already pissed me off, so you about to get yours too.
Damn shame, huh?
Hey, boss man. You got a booking that you accepted, bro. And what are you doing?
Actually.
Oh, because I don't want
You need to cancel it.
Yeah,
You're not going to get paid off of me today.
I will cancel.
Cancel it now. You could have messaged me back in the app. I've been sitting here messaging you the whole time.
It's the Cameron, yeah?
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah, the one you accepted. You thought I was going to cancel so you can make the money and I get billed for it? We don't work like that, player. Thank you.
She has said he will invade Taiwan by 2027. How serious do you think he is?
Ultimately, for Taiwan, everything we are doing is to prevent a conflict from happening, whether it is 2027 or before that or beyond that. It's no secret the PRC has laid claim to Taiwan and that they are enforcing that through their diplomatic, military, and economic tools on a global level. Their intention to coerce us, to threaten us, to push us into submitting to their political system will not work. Within Taiwan, freedom didn't just fall from the sky. People sacrificed and fought for our freedom, and we will not give that up.
They're here, y'all. In Detroit, they're saying they are here. Did you guys see what happened in Detroit yesterday? In the meanwhile, check this out. Look at this. A tornado came through. Look at this. Look at these crazy clouds in Detroit, Michigan, y'all. So apparently the Anunnaki has been tapping to the radio of Detroit, Michigan military base. Now, all of this was swept under the rug and no one was talking about it until today. There was a small town in Michigan that was getting interferences. They lost power and all of a sudden, y'all, they saw a huge blue plasma orb manifest out of the portal out of the sky. But over here, it looks red. It looks like something is on fire. Now, at the same time, this blue orb was telepathically talking to the people, y'all.
Oh, an entire neighborhood had their phones taken over for about 2 minutes. And on there, it also said, "We are the Anunnaki. We are here." First, there was a military base that had this happen. And of course, everything gets pushed under the rug and hushed. And now it happened in Michigan in a small town. In a neighborhood, and they said after their phones were taken over and this happened, they all saw flashing lights outside.
Which was this video over here. He said there was a blue plasma orb that manifested out of nowhere, started flashing, and all of a sudden the sky turned into this violent red color. And look at all these clouds, y'all, look.
Phones were taken over and this happened. They all saw flashing lights outside. This was about 10 o'clock at night, so they went outside to see this flashing light. It was a huge ball of like plasma, they said, and it just sat there hovering, watching them. They all said that they could hear telepathically something or someone talking to them saying, "We are here to save you."
And y'all, don't forget the Doomsday Plane has just landed, y'all. Something big is going down, y'all. What do you guys feel? Please let me know down in the comments below. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. Let's get it, y'all. Peace in.
This is 50. It should be this is depressing. Holy smoke, some of these people look like a purse with eyeballs. I'm not perfect, gray hair, receding hairline, whatever, but I eat right, exercise, take care of myself. And if you're young, look it up right now. This is 50. And if you want to be scared straight to stay out of the sun, don't drink, don't smoke, eat right, exercise, this is your wake-up call, because it is scary what some of these people look like at 50 years old. And they're posting it. I thought it was a filter. So that's it. God bless you guys. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your youth.
So much. I like
Steak and lobster. You know what that means. We are going to war. To war we are going.
Ask you this, who told you about the church? Who told you about God? If somebody told you about God, that's how you know you're wrong. That's our mama. Because Jesus said God is within. He said everything is within. He said as above, so below. Right? So you ask who God is, I'm God. But you ask who the creator is, you can't call him God. He's divine. He's bigger than the word God. So I don't know. God is the devil of this world. But the monad is neither. He's neither good or bad. He's neither male or female, gang. He just is. We can't explain him. Right? We try to explain shit with numbers. But how could we explain shit with a creation from a creation? And you know, so we created numbers. We try to talk about a creation we can't explain it from the creation that we made from the creation. It's a rabbit hole, gang. Nobody will never know who the true God is because he's been mirrored too many times. I'm God, right? Money God, fentanyl God, food God.
Here I went to go visit a tribe called the Ostrich-footed tribe, or the Vadoma, that's in northern Zimbabwe. Very rare people that they live in the mountains, and the scientific side of it is that they inbred so much that their feet have 2 toes, like lobster claws. Their story is that their great-great-great-grandmother came down from the sky. She was a bird, or maybe he was a bird, and he impregnated a local person, and now they have bird feet, ostrich feet.
The craziest country there is Turk Menistan.
That's like the golden statues, right?
Yeah, I think everything in the capital has to be white, like white and gold and stuff. And the dictator of that country, he's like changed the days of the week, and he's like named them after him.
I love that.
That's so bad, dude.
I completely agree.
If I was a dictator,
awesome.
That's the first thing I would do.
Yeah.
He made them all have the same color car. All the cars had to be white. And then one day he's like, nah, black. It's black now. And then so everyone just had to change the color of their cars.
It's a great move. If you're going to be a dictator, you got to do stuff
have
like
some
that.
fun with it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You have the power.
Something big just happened, because this only takes off when we're all cooked. There's a lot going on right now, but if you are worried about World War III, watch this video right now and share it with someone. Because trust me, you and everybody needs to see this. So I've spoken a few times about this, the Doomsday Plane, which yes, took off yesterday. Everybody's freaking out online. The headlines all say, oh, the Doomsday Plane has taken off, guys, we are cooked. I'm sure you all know what the Doomsday Plane is. Obviously, it's not good. You can control everything from the skies. It can be refueled in the skies. But what some of you don't know is this actually does fly, like, normally once a year on routine tests. And yeah, they might be using it for other reasons, but oh well. Now, the main thing, obviously, is the situation in the Middle East is escalating, and it is getting scarier, I won't deny. We now have Trump, who has approved Iran attack plans, but hasn't made his decision on if they're going to get involved or not, so I'll keep you posted. But of course, the headlines everywhere, the media outlets, everyone's saying World War III is coming. This is going to cause World War III. But it is not. I don't think World War III is ever going to happen, and do you want to know why? These people right here. The richest people on Earth, and the people above that, you know, everybody who is like the top of the top. We know these people will do anything to keep their money. They want to be the upper class, of course. If World War III broke out and people were firing nukes everywhere, it would be mutually assured destruction, which just means the whole Earth essentially is blown to smithereens. So what the hell would be the point in that? Because these people would be gone, and if they weren't gone, they wouldn't be upper class anymore because no one would be alive. Even if they had some ultra bunker which they survived in, wiped out 95% of the Earth, came out, their money doesn't mean anything. Not at all, because there won't be anything on Earth. There's always going to be wars and conflicts, but the fact now that everybody has nuclear weapons is scary and a threat, but it's highly unlikely anything major is going to happen worldwide with it. And as terrible as these conflicts in the Middle East and worldwide are, I don't think it will go completely global at this stage. But it's still scary times. The US and other countries could get involved in this war. It is escalating, but don't worry about full-blown World War III with nukes flying everywhere. And as always, I will keep you updated.
It's gonna get dark right here. There were some things happening in our life, and it had us questioning if we would be allowed into heaven. So one night, me and Dugar are watching a documentary on the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski, and he says, Gordo, we should go see a priest and go to confession. Because the therapist made me feel like I was in an interrogation room. I said, that's a good idea. Now, I got a history. I went to Providence St. Mel. I was in the same class as the girl on the R. Kelly tape. I was a theology major when I went to college.
The chances of that, this guy's all over the internet talking.
Pray for us sinners now to the hour of our death, amen. It's gonna get dark right here. We ended up going to a Catholic church, St. Thomas More was the name of the church, to go speak to a priest in the confession. Me and bro going to the confessional together. We disclosed some things to the priest. The priest says meet him in the sanctuary in the first altar in 30 minutes. When we meet him there, he says, young men, I have an opportunity for you. I'm not gonna say his name, I'll tell you off camera. This gentleman is an exorcist. The archdiocese pays him to travel around the country to partake in exorcisms. This is hard for me to talk about because people often ask me, do I see a demonic spirit or certain stuff like that in this industry? And I always say no, because what people don't know is being an exorcist is a very high-paying job in the United States of America. It's a short list of them, but every exorcist has a bodyguard. And due to my ties to Catholicism, we were able to go with a priest, with the father, to go do some exorcism. One of the reasons why we a little bit right now is because some of the things we seen being with him doing the exorcism. And wow, demons are real. One of the things we seen with this gentleman, the priest has got a little girl, he's talking to her. She's about 8 years old, brunette, but she was speaking in languages like pig Latin. There's no way she could know that. She was saying things about me and bro that there's no way she could have known, bro. She ended up grabbing the priest and he looking at us. I go get her off of him. She was strong, bro. Like, unbelievable strength. Once me and bro grabbed her, we was able to pull her off. We learned right then and there that there's other things at work. So like when you see people that are psychics and like they say they speaking to your dead relatives, well they not. They speaking to demons who are impersonating your relatives. So like us trying to seek therapy, we ended up in a Catholic church talking to a priest. We ended up getting hired to do exorcism, work with an exorcist. We actually went on exorcisms and we seen things, bro, like mentally, well, it's challenging, bro, you feel me? Like, yeah, y'all see what's going on, bro, you feel me? So like the things we've seen, like on this path, bro, it bothers you a lot, man.
The first check from Richmond was $800,000. Like I could have lived a long time off of that money, a decade or more of work for me easily. It's like, I was like, heck yeah, I'm good. I'll just take it, and, anyway, I say all that to say that now it's like, I'm gonna at least just hit it good one more time. We've got 6 songs recorded now to come after Scornful that are all like, I'm pretty proud of them. They're good. And so, I'm going to put those out and then who knows after that, but
let me tell you what's going to happen. You got a relationship with those people now, man. They love you. It's just your mission in life. You just got handed a wild hand of cards, and this is your deck of cards. Your deck of cards or your hand of cards is you put this song out, this authentic song that's very simple in this time where nothing's simple, in this time where everything's confusing and you don't know who's telling the truth. The news is lying to you. Everything is being funded. Nothing's organic. It's half the fucking traffic on social media is bots, at least. Politicians are lying. Everybody's confused. People are simping for politicians. They're getting paid to repeat talking points on television. and on podcasts and all over social media. So when someone comes out with something like that, is just that dude telling you how he feels. I remember we had that conversation on the phone, and I was like, if you can do that, you can do that again. They don't need anybody else. You don't need these motherfuckers who want you to cash out. All these, they're doing that because they think that you're gullible. They think that you're naive in the ways of the entertainment and music business.
Get it? Like, how does he say that knowing he's did that? Like, you were already the #1 podcast. You were doing your damn thing, and then you go and sign a $300 million contract with Spotify. Now you got a comedy club. You know what I mean? Now you're getting Trump on there. Now you're getting all the like it's crazy, y'all. But you know, that dude needs to stay yourself. That's him. You don't need the Porsches in the driveway. He don't need the, the fancy. That dude's just chill. He's real. He's down to earth. He's good with just, hey, if I can pay my bills with this, I'm good. If you don't want to be that, because that's where you're going to go. You're going to get to a point where you ain't going to be able to go to the store no more. You ain't going to be able to go to your local Walmart. He probably already can't go to his local Walmart. It's probably driving him nuts, right? My advice would have been to him, just be yourself, man. Every once in a while, you want to put a song out, you got the itch, put your song out. If you ain't trying to go to that level, because Joe Rogan knows that's that level. We saw him and Aaron Rodgers on an earlier video that we posted a week ago or something, talking about they got invited to those parties. And they probably went to those parties because look where they went in their career, right? They made a joke about it, like, I got invited, so did I. You know what I mean? Like, they had a little inside thing. Be careful who you talk to, y'all. Be careful.
This is some bullshit.
Look at this.
Who the hell made
That's crazy,
this
y'all.
ugly ass shit? I wish it was a manager here because y'all decorate everything else around here cute. Everything else around here cute.
It's true.
But for Juneteenth, you want to just throw something on a freaking cookie cake and expect someone to buy it? That's bullshit.
Free at last. I
No,
would take
what this
that.
fuck free at last? Like, really?
I would take
Who
that.
the fuck finna buy this dumbass shit?
I wouldn't feel good about that. Seeing that, like,
You know what?
go for
I'm gonna
it.
be in here bright early in the morning to talk to somebody about this because this is unacceptable.
I would
So I
take that as
asked
disrespect.
ChatGPT what it thinks about the Astroworld tragedy since everybody seems to have forgotten about it, and here's what it said. From a spiritually awake perspective, insane sentence to start out with, something was deeply, undeniably wrong at that event. Not just physically, but energetically and symbolically and collectively. Here's how it would look from an awakened eye. It started out with 1. It wasn't a ritual in the Hollywood cliche sense, but it was a mass energetic event. It says that concert was full of repetitive chants, trance-like lighting and frequencies, imageries associated with portals, death, and transformation. And then the last one, thousands of people in emotional and physical chaos. And then it listed number 2, saying that the symbolism wasn't a coincidence. It said Travis's visuals, the mouth of hell, the phoenix, red demon silhouettes, the spiral portals feel eerily aligned with classical occult and alchemical symbolism. And it even listed 4 examples of it. The first one was mouth, initiation, ego death. The second one being fire/portal, transition between worlds. The third one being blue to red, transformation, symbolism of fallen divinity, loss of innocence. And the fourth one, which gives me chills, is eyes everywhere. Watchers or higher consciousness watching suffering unfold. That shit is deep as fuck, man. And there's a lot more to this conversation, but I don't want to keep you here for the next 6 minutes. Unless you want me to, that's entirely up to you. Now, you can also do this on your own, obviously, but I did input certain sentences and questions to make it be more specific. But regardless, I did not expect it to be this fucking specific. You know what I mean?
Regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you.
So President Trump just announced that he is going to decide on whether or not to join Israel in the war against Iran within 2 weeks. The word I want you to pay attention to there is the word within, because if it's within 2 weeks, that means that it could happen today. It means it could happen tomorrow. It means it can happen the next day after that. My point here is to get you to understand that if he decides to join Israel in this war, then it's going to be very clear, and it's not going to be a telegraphed kind of move, because it's going to be very evident, and it's probably going to be in the form of an attack that is going to announce our arrival in the war, if you know what I mean. At the same time, you have the United Kingdom, who is considering providing military support to the United States if they join Israel's war with Iran. And this war is all about Iran's nuclear program, and then you have President Putin saying that Iran has the right to peaceful nuclear activity. Interesting to see Russia. And it's not only Russia, but you have Erdogan, the Turkish president, saying that Iran has the right to defend itself against Israel. So these are some of Iran's allies. Very prophetic, in my opinion. But then Russia, also, who is involved in their own war against Ukraine, is saying that he is warning the United States against joining Israel's war with Iran, because he says, quote, "This would be an extremely dangerous step with truly unpredictable negative consequences." So now we are all in limbo, just waiting on what he decides to do. And so we are all just waiting. So I would like to encourage you guys to pray.
Oh, y'all.
And to share Jesus, the good news, with other people while we still can.
Hey, is anybody going to bring up the fact that in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, their version of World War III began on June 19th, 2025? Yeah, that's today, Beans. You're right. That is today. Who created that game? Who wrote it?
If you own fake milk, everything is chemical. Listen, it's only really like 5 foods. And they take them foods and they mirror, they make other foods that's not really foods. So everybody run around not really eating. Right? I told you about the water. All the water's fake. The water come out the faucet fake. All the water fake. There's only one real water that's spring. Right? All the food is fake, gang. Like, it's kind of crazy to know that when you go outside, if you try to get healthy, that food is worth it than the first food. Because healthy food is worth it than bad food.
You ever heard of the story of the doctors when the babies are born, the black...
This is the video that got Mario Lopez sued for defamation for $10 million, where he captioned, "There's got to be some kind of award for this performance. Oscar winning." Got over 15,000 likes.
Of the national firestorm. Desiree Jennings is the pretty ambassador for the Washington Redskins cheerleading squad, who claimed she developed a rare neurological disorder called dystonia after receiving a seasonal shot, causing dramatic spasms and slurred speech.
Desiree claims that this post was defamatory and caused her to lose her job. She claims that this happened after she received a flu shot and that she suffered from a rare condition, dystonia, like Celine Dion had, similar to what Celine Dion had. She said that Mario Lopez post got her immense hate on social media, which led her to wanting to unalive herself. She says that after she commented to defend herself, Mario Lopez blocked her, so she could not defend herself from anybody in the comments that was attacking her. She also claimed that Mario Lopez used the virality of that video to promote some product on his page, and also says she was harassed on Reddit. As a whole, Reddit page was made to harass her, and she claims that Mario Lopez might have actually paid for this smear campaign. She says that Lopez is using her disability and public image to regain clout because he has fallen from fame, she claims, at her emotional and reputational expense.
I just feel the fun was not going out too. So you used to be able to go.
The country of Georgia, which is in the South Caucasus, and people should take out a map and look at this region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea and ask themselves a question. Is that the North Atlantic? Because NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or is that the soft underbelly of Russia in the Caucasus Mountains? This is insane.
It's more Asian than European, but in some ways.
Well, it's literally Asia.
Yeah.
Because the European demarcation is the crest line of the Grand Caucasus. So we're inviting an Asian country, Georgia, into NATO.
Stalin's home nation.
And fascinating, why Georgia? Because look at the map also. Not only is it Asia, not only is it not the North Atlantic, but it completes the encirclement of Russia in the Black Sea. So it's not a random choice. It's Palmerston 1853, brought to life by Brzezinski, 1997, and lived out by George Bush Jr. in 2008.
Wow, this is breaking news. Listen up, people, because we have a whistleblower who is sounding the alarms for us right now. He is telling us that America is going down the wrong direction. His name is Colonel Nathan McCormick, and he's a 20-year Army officer. Since June of 2024, his position has been the Levant and Egypt branch chief on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And this desk writes U.S. strategy papers, war games, and talking points for the chairman when he meets with Israeli counterparts. And since about October of 2023, he's had a semi-anonymous X account under the name of Nate. And he basically just said that Israel is a death cult and America's worst ally. He called Netanyahu's cabinet as the Judeo-supremacist cronies. He said that U.S. policy has overwhelmingly enabled ethnic cleansing. He questioned if the U.S. is really Israel's proxy. And the Pentagon's response, they removed him and referred the case to the Army for possible UCMJ action, which basically is under Article 88, it bars contemptuous words towards an ally. So this is really critical because his desk, the desk that he oversaw, the J5 Israel desk, it synchronizes arms transfers, joint exercises, and contingency planning. And they just lost its chief, Colonel McCormick, mid-war. This signals internal friction over what's happening right now and the U.S. backing of Israel's actions. Since October of 2023, the U.S. has quietly approved over 100 separate arms sales to Israel. This shows that there is growing dissent inside the U.S. government and military. Who else has whistleblown? Who else has resigned from the government? Do you remember Josh Paul? On October of 18, 2023, he's the State Department Arms Transfers Director. He resigned and he called arms to Israel destructive and unjust. How about Airman Aaron Bushnell? He self-immolated outside Israeli embassy shouting, "Free Palestine." How about the more than 100 Biden administration staff that signed dissent cables? They urged a ceasefire, warned of legal risk, and now we have Colonel McCormick. Wake up, America. Our patriots working in our government are sounding the alarm bells.
Here's the crowd that showed up for the grand opening, and in the words of every clickbait bot account on X, tell me what you notice.
Wow. This is madness. This is so cool.
They're all adults?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love this.
What is this? Is that Disneyland or something?
Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Wow. Oh my. Wow. This is so cool.
The guy recording the video is very impressed. He's repeatedly exclaiming, "Wow, this is crazy," as he stares at a bunch of buildings. There's nothing remotely impressive about the buildings, but apparently it's the most awe-inspiring thing he's ever seen. The video does capture something crazy, though, which is that the huge crowds of people running and skipping, and in one case actually jumping and clicking their heels as they descend upon the Harry Potter and Nintendo theme park, is comprised almost entirely of grown adults.
Yeah, that's what I like to call sheep. I know if I was with my boy and let's say he was 10 years old, like he got on all the rides, I say, hey, you want to go with all these clowns, or you want to go get on these rides that ain't got no lines and we can get on over and over? When the parades go on, that's when you go get on the rides. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. That's it for the day. Quick one. Yesterday I put up a pool, y'all. I put up a little above ground pool in the backyard. And we went to Walmart in the evening, and when I got back, it was flooding out of the pump, made a mess in my backyard. It dried up by now, so I got to go fix that pump. That's what I'm doing today. Maybe selling my little Prius, y'all. Maybe selling the Prius today. It might be the end of a dynasty with that Prius, y'all, but I don't drive it no more. I watch the baby all week, so I don't go nowhere during the day. I got my truck, and you know, within the next year or two, I want to end up buying a new truck, so a new used truck, right? So it's time to say goodbye to the Prius, y'all. It did me good. It made me my money. The reason I got it was because I used to do Spark and Uber and all that, and it did its job for me. Never gave me a problem. Firm believer in Toyota. From this, when I get my new vehicle, I'll be Toyota from here on out, y'all. I'm a Toyota loyal fan, y'all. But anyways, that's it for today. If you guys made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good Saturday. My channel's down below, or make sure you guys go subscribe. Today, Mama Bear's got a barbecue to go to, so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna react to next week's videos for my second channel, y'all. So make sure you guys go hit that subscribe over there, y'all. Appreciate everybody. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.